You might remember him as a Republican presidential candidate. He is inside the DNC, which is a story in and of itself. Vivek Ramaswamy joins us live here on the Hill once again. Thanks for joining us, as always, Vivek. We appreciate it. Let's start with that. Donald Trump's safety. What concerns do you have at this point in time, or do you think the Secret Service have it under wrap?
I certainly hope they have it under wraps, and I think every American, whether they're on the left or on the right, should pray for the safety of both candidates, because the way we should actually settle this disagreement in American politics is at the ballot box, peacefully, in the way that we do as Americans. And so that's my hope, and we came within an inch, within a centimeter of a near national tragedy earlier this summer. If we can agree on one thing, on the left or right, let that be the worst possible thing that happens in this presidential campaign cycle, and we'll all be happy for it.
All right, let's move on to, I guess we could say, the disagreeable, which is policy. The left and the right, they disagree about it. You have been urging Donald Trump to get away from the personal attacks and stick to policy. Donald Trump said this earlier today. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
Because she's a radical left person who really wants to have an open border. She'll never close the border. She'll never drill for oil and gas.
Is that the way that you think that she should be framed on the policy front, or would you give suggestions to Donald Trump elsewhere?
Well, first of all, what I want to say is that is a policy-focused critique. And what I'd love to hear from Kamala Harris, she'll have an opportunity to do it tonight, is what does she actually stand for? Does she still stand for a tax on unrealized capital gains, as she has favored for the last several years? Does she still believe in abolishing private health insurance? Her words, not mine, from when she was a U.S. presidential candidate. Does she believe in eliminating the filibuster, to ram the Green New Deal through, to eliminate the coal industry, and to ban fracking and offshore drilling? Here's the problem. We don't have the answers to those questions. So the reason I think Republicans need to focus on policy, and Donald Trump's doing a good job of that, he did a great job of it today, is that we're not going hard enough at Kamala Harris for her policy positions.
Hasn't. Like, is he, though, doing a good job staying on policy? I mean, he's been kind of all over the place.
Well, look, I want to say a few things about this. First of all, it's only been a month since Kamala Harris even became the putative nominee. She's not even yet formally the actual nominee. So in many senses, this race has not yet begun. Were Republicans on their back feet for a couple of weeks after Kamala Harris was switched in to be the presumptive nominee? Yes. But I think Republicans have found their footing. We've found our footing. I was here today at the DNC having real open conversations. I was even outside talking to many of the protesters. And what I want to see is a Republican Party, and I believe we are this, that stands for free speech and open debate. That you don't have to agree with 100% of what Donald Trump says in order to vote for him. But there's a few core issues that do matter to us. Seal the border, grow the economy, end rampant crime in this country, revive national pride, and keep us out of World War III. If you agree on that, then I think Donald Trump is the candidate this cycle around. And that's what we should be debating, is that policy vision for the future. I want to make one more point on this, though, because it relates to the media as well. I think the media did cover for Joe Biden for 3 years about his cognitive deficits. And many in the media, I think, have been honest in reckoning with that. Well, I think in the same way they covered for Biden's cognitive deficits, they're now covering for Kamala's policy deficits. And I think American voters are going to hold the bag unless we fix that.
Let's talk about policy for a second here, Vivek. We had the Battleground States Director, Dan Cannon, in for the Harris campaign on this show earlier this week, and here's what he told me about Project 2025, because that is going to be a theme tonight from Kamala Harris. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
I get qualitative and quantitative reports every single night, in addition to kind of tracking polling and benchmark polling. But we talk to real people in neighborhoods about what they care about, what they want to talk about. They care about Project 2025. That comes up a ton, especially in black neighborhoods. They don't like this blueprint for destroying the federal government.
Vivek, Democrats, whether you like to admit it or not, they have been really successful in taking a paper that conservatives have put forth, a policy proposal that conservatives have put forth, and bumper stickering it. Project 2025. You can't go a day without hearing it. And I wonder if you think Republicans in this town blew it and set Donald Trump up for failure.
The reality is this is a deflection. Donald Trump has offered his policy vision and agenda, from everything from digital assets policies to crypto policy to foreign policy to mass deportations to tariffs. You may agree with the policies or not. He's offered them.
Do you wish it went away, though, Project 2025?
Policies.